You gave Pico a big test against an 18-4 fighter tonight. Can you assess his performance?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, it's like watching lightning. You know, it's so impressive because the amount of pressure that Aaron puts on his opponents, and the amount of firepower he has, and the skill he has standing up, you know, striking, going down, getting up. I mean, you know, he can fight at all different, you know, levels. So he's extremely dangerous, as you guys can see, because he fought a guy that was a title contender. This guy was no joke, and you know, I think Aaron picked him apart, and then you know took it to him quite easily. So I think that says a lot about him and his ability. But you know, when Bob Cook called us, you know, about 3 years ago, I think it was about 3 years ago, and you know, I went to watch him wrestle, and was impressed because he's so explosive, and we made an understanding that when he got through with the Olympic bid and Olympic trials. And the bid to the Rio, then he would go into MMA, and I think he's done an amazing job, and I think the future's very bright for him.
For Aaron, right after the fight, it seemed like you kind of called out Juscio Pitbull, who was in Ego's corner. What exactly happened there at the end?
No, all I said was your time is coming. It's true, it's a new generation of fighters, young fighters, and the clock is ticking down for him. Every day that he goes and trains, there's a guy like me just waiting to get a shot at him and take his belt. That's just how it goes.
How soon do you think is realistic for a title fight like that?
To be honest with you, it's really not up to me. My whole job is just to progress as a fighter. That's so important to me right now. I'm very young in my career. I have a lot of things to work on. Like I said, it's not being the best fighter. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes many years, but all I can do is progress and take each fight as they come. That's my job.
And then, you know, obviously Aaron was a standout tonight. What do you think? How quickly do you want to move him? I mean, he just took out a title contender in one round, but you know, he's also very young and he's only got 5 fights. I mean, how do you approach his next fight?
You know, I'll tell you, he has 5 fights, but you know, he has how many, you know, wrestling matches, how many boxing matches, how much training hours. I think you have to take that all into consideration, because if you didn't, there's no way Aaron would be fighting Hugo who we fought today, because his record has probably, you know, 5 times more fights than Aaron has. So it's not just about the record, but I do feel that you know, this was a test for him. I think he definitely passed the test with flying colors, and we'll set the next challenge up for him. But you know, to do that today, I think it's tough. I think that you know, I'd like to have him go back, and we'll talk to his coaches and his management, and then we'll figure out the next step.
Aaron, I'm curious, if you go back to the locker room, you have a trainer in there, Freddie Roach, who's just seen every type of athlete, and he's you know, helped orchestrate guys through their careers before. What does he tell you after a win like that?
Just say good job. You look good. But yeah, it was great to have Freddie in the locker room and in the corner. I spent a lot of time at Wild Card. You know, usually after fights, I'm back in the boxing club, just trying to, you know, keep my skills up. And it was really cool to have him, a legend like that in your corner. Something I always remember.
One thing that stuck out to me, at least, about the fight was just the level of composure you had. Once you heard him, you did not really rush anything. I mean, can you talk about just how comfortable you feel, especially in a moment like that where you do have a guy hurt?
Yeah, that's the whole conversation my coach and I, Antonio, had. All my fights is just relax. I mean, obviously you guys saw the first one. I just rushed in there. So yeah, that's for me. I just need to relax in there, use my skills. I have everything. I can take him down. I can stand on my feet. But yeah, there's more risk by me rushing in. So I just need to take my time. I have 15 minutes, and the fight went a little bit longer than my last one. So I got some more experience. So it was just a good night.
Higos before the fight said that he was your first real test, but that never really seemed to waver your confidence. Or like, why did your confidence just stay there? Like, why is it so strong?
Yeah, I mean, I was saying this was the biggest test of his career. That's what I was saying to my team. He's never fought a guy like me. He's never fought a wrestler like me, guy that can hit as hard as me. So I knew it was a big test for me, but I also was telling everybody it's the biggest test of his career. Once everybody says they're going to do this, they're going to try to get me to the ground, but once you feel my power, it's on a whole different level. And if I wanted to take him down, I could take him down at any time. But my confidence just goes back to my training. You know, I have good training partners, great coaches, and I knew it was. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's a big test," and yeah, absolutely, it's a big test. But I knew I had it within me to get the job done, and I did.
Scott, is it possible that you'll put Picot back in by the end of the year?
Yeah, I think it is possible. I think that I don't think he took a lot of damage at the fight, and you know, I know he goes right back into the gym. So you know, we'll definitely have that conversation. But that's a Monday conversation.
I think this is a question that might come up, or an issue that might come up sooner than later, given your trajectory in this division, and that's the issue of you and AJ. You guys are both, you know, on a parallel path right now. You're both tearing through the division, and I think it's inevitable that people are going to pair you, at least in terms of matchups they want to see. What's your position on that?
Well, I mean, we're not going to fight. I mean, his dad's my coach, but that's just something that we're going to have to talk about as a team, and that's not for another topic. Right now, I'm just focused on my win, and then we'll talk about that when the time comes. But the bottom line is his dad's my coach. We're training partners, so it's just not going to happen. And but yeah, that's a question that people are probably going to ask, but that's something that we'll discuss face to face, and we'll figure it out.
Do you think that one of you might move, like, to accommodate the other?
We'll see when that time comes.